G'day everyone. This video is really aimed at people that have got an interest in urban planning and new styles of doing developments. If you're not interested in this stuff, it's probably time to go watch something else. So I'm heading from South Fremantle down towards Coogee, and residents of Sydney might be interested to know, yes, there is another Coogee. It's south of Fremantle. And the first part here, you can see all the different kind of things that the urban planners or road engineers have come up with to try and slow down traffic. Now I've got this speeded up 3 times because otherwise this will take about 15 minutes to get through the whole thing. But, you can see they've got speed or road platforms, they've got narrow roads, they've indented the parking, on-street parking off to the side, so the road just looks a heck of a lot narrower. There's speed bumps, there's islands in the middle of the road, kind of chicanes around, and they use different textures on different parts of the road. So in places you'll see the kind of brick texture, like at every intersection, like the one we just went through, the bricks are the same color as asphalt, but if you slow down and have a look, you'll see, yes, that's a kind of very bricky texture there. So they're kind of using just about every trick in the book to what do you call it, visually narrow the streets to slow people down. And in fact, they are physically narrow as well. If there's cars parked on the side of the street, then you've got to stop and wait if there's a vehicle coming in the other direction. Now, interestingly, after just wandering through that particular development, this one seems to be a new one, perhaps a different developer, and obviously a much wider road here, but I guess this is the main road in and out of the place, hence it's a lot wider. And there's plenty of land down here, which I guess is waiting to be carved up and developed. Pretty boring. But one thing I did notice is they're designing all those new housing developments with a laneway at the back to get into the garage. So there's nice, quiet, lanes out the back. Now, this road reminded me a lot of Henley Marine Drive, since we've recently been looking at Timbrell Park and upgrades to it. And there's heaps and heaps of speed humps along here, and they've got signs up saying 20 kilometres an hour. Yeah, because they're fairly savage speed humps. They're serious about not letting people go hammering through here in their cars. So I just find it interesting that Canada Bay Council has no issues with rat runners racing along Henley Marine Drive and puts in no effort to slow down the vehicles, whereas here a lot of effort has been put into slowing down drivers to a reasonable speed. Now, this bit we're about to go into had the most vicious cobbles I've ever ridden on in my life, and I've ridden, well, obviously not the ones in France, like Paris-Roubaix, but for Australian cobbles, this is seriously rough. And yeah, the cars were just crawling by. Drivers wouldn't want to be doing more than 10 kilometres an hour on this because it was just so rough and uncomfortable. And even riding across it on a mountain bike, it was horrible. And on the way back, I got off this and actually rode on the path because it was just, yeah, it did the trick, I'll tell you that. It was extremely effective at keeping the speed of everybody down, that's for sure, including cyclists. So just, I guess, interesting variety of tricks that the planners or the engineers here are happy to use to pedestrianise these areas, make them comfortable for people to walk around or scoot around. And I did see a reasonable number of people doing that as I went around. And you could pretty much walk on the roads around some of these areas because the vehicle traffic's so slow. It's slow, a bit like Breakfast Point. Anyway, we're about to hit my turnaround point and the end of the video. So yeah, if you're into that kind of urban planning stuff and making places more pedestrian friendly, I hope you got something out of it.